Hello everyone and welcome to another showcase where today I will be showing off Goblin and later on Ogre. So first off, we have to make something very clear. I'm not going to show you every line that you can go through because you can go Goblin, Hobgoblin, Ogre, Kidchen, Wicked Oni, and then go into other stuff. I'm just gonna go do one line per scenario, I guess. So first of all, when you spawn in as a goblin, you have one evolution, and that is hobgoblin. Now hobgoblin is just going to require you to get 2000 EP, and we're going to get that real easy by killing something like an orc disaster. Alright, that should be enough. Now that we've evolved, you're gonna have two different options. Now, the first line I'm gonna go with is just Enlightened Hobgoblin to Goblin Saint to Divine Oni. Your next requirement is to gain existence points, specifically 100,000. And usually you would go grind for a few hours, but you know, we're just gonna give ourselves 100,000 magicules, and well, not magicules, EP. But now you can become an Enlightened Hobgoblin. The way to progress even further is to kill 4 bosses. Now these 4 bosses, it doesn't really matter which ones they are, but we're just gonna go through each one because I have a weapon, I can kill everything. That's giving us quite a lot of EP, but that is... I believe that that's everything really. Now I just have to give myself 130,000 No, never mind. I need one more boss, and that's gonna be. So you need to kill 4 bosses, and you need to gain 400,000 EP. And once you do that, you can become a Hobgoblin Saint. As a Saint, you have 1200 HP. You don't really get anything when it comes to like specific intrinsic skills or resistances. This is just like a normal race. And last but not the least, there's the Divine Oni evolution, which just requires you to have 2 million EP, like for any other divine race except for demon. And boom! At this point, and only at this point, do you actually get some intrinsic skills. Now, the second, I guess, scenario we're gonna go with is going to be Goblin. We're gonna go, from here on out, we're gonna go into the Ogre line, and for Ogre all you have to do is battle the Elemental Colossus. I know it says for me that I already did it. That's because I didn't fully reset. Now once you fight the Elemental Colossus, it doesn't really matter if you win or not. The only thing that matters is that you actually do fight it. You're gonna be able to evolve into an Ogre, and from there on you have 2 different options. You can either go Enlightened Ogre, which is the same as Enlightened Hobgoblin, and then Saint, and then Divine Oni, or you can go into Kidchen. And now, for a Kidchen, as the requirements say, for like actually correct one time, you're going to need to obtain a spirit. And since I don't want to go into the labyrinth right now, I have like this praying path of sorts, and then we can just look up, look at this beautiful world and the spirits and everything, and hope that I get a spirit. Boom! Greater Spirit of Fire. Easy shit. And now I can evolve into a Kidchen. Kapow! Let's ignore that. You do get Wind Transform. I think it's random which transform you get, because I think at some point I also got like a Space Transform instead. So I think you generally just get one transform of sorts, and then from here on out, you have 2 different options. You can either go Mystic Oni, or you can go Wicked Oni. Now, for the purposes of not having a 40-minute video, we're gonna go into Mystic Oni first, and for that, as the requirements say, you're going to need to eat Elemental Essence, and this is going to be this thing here. Now Elemental Essence is something that's relatively easily obtainable. All you have to do is find spirits and then murder them, and you need 10 of these, by the way. For example, that could be a feathered serpent, or it could be a beast gnome. It's a chance-based thing. It's not always gonna drop on the mediums at the very least. Elemental Essence, here we go. Alright, thank God. Now, it can also drop from Great Elementals, but it will, your most common source will just be medium spirits that you have found. Now, once you eat 10 of these, you're going to be able to evolve into a Mystic Oni. Now, a Mystic Oni is going to have a bit more HP, namely 150, but you're going to get Self-Regen and Steel Strength, which are both amazing intrinsic skills to have. And the only thing you need to evolve from this point on and become a Spirit Oni is not to consume Elemental Essence, but rather to get more EP. Namely, you're going to need 300, well, you're going to need 400,000, but since I already had 300,000, I already had 100,000, blah, 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 blah. Now, with 400,000 EP, you can evolve into a Spirit Oni. And then from then on, it's really simple. You just need 1 more million, and boom, Divine Oni has been achieved. Now, the alternative line here, and the reason why Goblin and Ogre are so complicated, is that it kind of splits weirdly from here, right? First of all, this is kind of cool, that I got chosen one. But yeah, the issue with like Goblin and Ogre in general is that from here on out, right, you can go Elemental Ogre, Enlightened Ogre, and not Kidchen. You could go Enlightened Ogre, and then from there on out, you could go into Mystic or Wicked Oni lines. And it's kind of confusing, but let's go into Enlightened Ogre first then. You're gonna need 100,000 EP. And once you gain 100,000 EP, you can become an Enlightened Ogre. Now, as an Enlightened Ogre, you're gonna have 120 HP, which means that while, yes, it is slightly harder to gain 100,000 EP than to just battle the Colossus and get a Spirit, it's gonna be much easier, because you're gonna have 120 HP instead of, I believe it was 30. And then from here on out, you can go into Mystic or Wicked Oni line. The only difference, I believe, for Wicked Oni is that you cannot become a hero unless you have the unique skill Reverser. That is absolutely weird. But yeah, so what you're gonna need is Demon Essence. To gain Demon Essence, you're going to need to go either to Ruined Portals, Bastions, or Nether Fortresses. So they're mostly going to be in the Nether, but you can also find them in these Ruined Portals inside of chests, and they're just going to be sitting here waiting for you. And once again, it's going to be 10 individual pieces, and once you eat them, I think it's like 2 more for me. Once you eat those, you're going to be able to evolve into a Wicked Oni. Boom. Now, as a Wicked Oni, ironically, you do lose some HP there, which is kind of fucked, if I'm being real. But, A, you become a Demon Lord Seed, and you get Ogre Berserker, which is an amazing skill, and Ultra Speed Regen. So, yes, while you lose some HP, and it kind of becomes irrelevant to, you know, go Enlightened Ogre instead of just Kidchen, you gain some of the most overpowered skills, one of which is Ogre Berserker, which is going to make you a lot stronger, and the second one is Ultra Speed Regen, which is a beast of its own because it's going to heal you really quickly, and it's only a bit worse than Infinite Regen. And from here on out, you have, once again, 2 different options. You can either instantly go Divine Fighter by having 2 million EP, or you can first go Death Oni, which I would recommend because you only need 400,000 EP. And boom, you can become a Death Oni. And once you do that, it's gonna switch your EP to 1 million for no reason. Let's not talk about that. And then from here on out, you can either go Divine Oni or Divine Fighter. Now we're gonna go Divine Fighter for this, and you're just gonna need another million. Like, no big deal, it's like easiest thing ever. And boom, you just get your Divine Key release. Now, the only difference, like notable difference between going Mystic Oni, Spirit Oni to Divine Oni, and Wicked Oni, Death Oni, Divine Fighter, is that you get those two really good skills, which are Ogre, Berserker, and Ultra Speed Regen. But yeah, that was it for the Goblin video. I want to thank you all for watching, and if you have any questions, ask in our Discord server, which will be linked below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you later.